Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Parker. My name is Reverend Rick McCollum and I'm the senior minister here. Thank you for joining us for this online service today. As we begin the service, I would like to light our unity candle. This candle represents the light of spirit that is within each and every one of us. We know that wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you're always welcome here. For we recognize that there are many ways to have an experience of the God of your understanding. So we honor all paths to God, and we say welcome to you wherever you are on that spiritual journey. We're glad you're here with us today, and we speak a word of blessing for you as you move into this time of service with us. I would like to remind us all of our 30-year goal as a spiritual community. And if you would like, you can say this along with me. The Center for Spiritual Living Parker is a global resource to help people discover and live their spiritual truth. And that's what we're about as a center here, is to help people to discover and live their spiritual truth. So know that you are welcome here, and we're glad that you're a part of us this morning. Enjoy the service, and now prepare yourself for our music and our meditation.
I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is secret love. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is secret love. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. And I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. Go inside to find my God. Go inside to find my God.
Settle in. Settle in to yourself, to your sacred self, to your higher self. Settle in, knowing that everything is just as it should be. Knowing that today is unfolding in absolute perfection. Knowing that this time, right here, right now, is perfect for you. That whatever was happening before and whatever happens after, now is the only moment that matters. Who you are right now, that is what matters. As you're settled into this space, in this time, think about how you got to this space right now. Was this a deliberate choice based on comfort, security, privacy, beauty? Or was this a default choice? Picked because it's where you always sit. It's what you always do. It's what works. Either way, the space that you are in right now and the soul that you are right now are reflections of each other, are reflections that tell stories about you, about who you are. For who you are right now is the only thing that matters. Your truth, your expression right now is your highest, your best, your truest. There is nothing more majestic, more grand, more perfect for you than in what is happening right now. And this is true for you in every now that you experience. Every now, every second of your experience is for you, for your highest good, for your evolution, for your divine being. Know that whatever choice you make, whatever experience you have, is the best choice and the best experience for you. That is true here today, that was true yesterday. That will be true tomorrow and always. As you move forward, know that you are moving in absolute perfection. That where you are called, what you do, the experience you have, your reaction to that experience, that is all unfolding in divine perfection. It is not possible for anything else to happen in your life. Divine perfection is all that is and all that is possible. Knowing this to be true, as you move forward, recognize this divine protection, this divine perfection. Recognize it for the perfect experience that it is. For there is nothing other than perfection in your life. You are perfection, and you manifest only perfection. Knowing this to be so, and that it can be no other way, take your time and gently return to the here, the now, the present, the perfect life that is yours.
Our talks during the month of May are surrounded by the theme of listening to your heart. Do you listen to your heart? I hope so. Today, our talk title is The Seat of the Soul. So we're looking at what is our soul. What does that word really mean for us? There is a presence, a power that is residing within each and every one of us. It's an inner divine urge, a purposefulness of spirit, and some would say that is the soul. Oprah had a show where she interviewed many different spiritual people and asked for their definition of what is a soul. So I'd like to share some of these definitions with you. Deepak Chopra defined soul as the core of your being. It is eternal. It doesn't exist in time or space. It's a field of infinite possibilities, infinite creativity. It's your internal reference point from which you should always be in touch. Eckhart Tolle defined soul as your innermost being, the presence that you are beyond form, the consciousness that you are beyond form. That, he says, is the soul. That is the essence of who you are. Michael Singer says the indwelling consciousness that watches the mind come and go, and watches the heart come and go. It watches the emotion of the heart, and it watches the world pass before you. You, the conscious, the consciousness, the center of the being, is the soul. From Wayne Dyer, the soul is the birthless, deathless, changeless part of us, the part that looks out from behind our eyes and has no form. The soul is the infinite, so there is no in or out to it. It is everywhere. There is no place that it is not. Sounds like a definition of God, doesn't it? No place that it is not. Our soul is one with God. Jean Houston says, I believe that the soul is the essence of who and what we are. The essence of who and what we are. That's our soul, as defined by some very spiritual, enlightened people. Now, Marianne Williamson was also interviewed, and she says, for me, the soul, it's the truth of who we are. It's the light, the love within us. It goes by different names, but it's the truth of us. Then she related the story of Michelangelo, that whenever he was going to create a statue, he would go to the quarry and he would imagine that God had already created the statue within this block of marble. He would say that what he had to do was to get rid of the excess marble so that it would show forth the statue that was within it. It's like God being in us, she says, Marianne Williamson. Some call it the Christ, others the Buddha mind, the Shekinah, the light, the soul. And our job is to get rid of this excess, useless fear, thought forms of the world that actually hide the light of the soul. Gary Zukav says the soul is the part of you that existed before you were born and that will exist after you die. It's the highest, most noble part of yourself that you can reach for. And Ernest Holmes. Now, Ernest was not interviewed by Oprah, but in his textbook on page 633, he defines soul as the creative medium of spirit, the subjective side of life, the mirror of the mind, for it reflects the thought forms which are given to it. A human soul life reenacts the soul life of the universe. You see, the soul life of the universe is always creating. It's always forever going on, moving forward. It doesn't matter what's happening in our human life. The universe continues to operate, continues to move forward. We as humans may be experiencing COVID-19, shelter in place, safer at home. Maybe you're an essential worker who is risking your life to help and serve others. You see, it doesn't matter what is happening in the human world, in nature, in the universe. That life of the universe continues to move forward, continues on. Spring is here. Flowers are blooming. Trees are budding. The beauty of the universe, the beauty of Earth is happening. The soul life of the universe continues eternally. So Ernest is saying that the human's soul life mirrors that of the universe. In other words, it continues. Our soul is, as it was described, that eternal part of us, that part that was here before we were born and will exist after we die. Our choice, if we choose to move into the seat of our soul, is to choose what we're going to look at, to focus on, to see and listen to. Will it be this inner divine urge that is built into each and every one of us? Or do we allow the distractions of the world to take us away, to occupy our mind, and to be where it is that we're spending our energy and our focus? You see, wherever we put our mind, that's what's going to manifest in our life. If we're truly human beings having this spiritual experience, or spiritual beings, I like to say, having a human experience, then we can choose. And if we choose to have that spiritual focus in our life, then everything is different. We view things differently. We can choose to go to the seat of our soul and turn our attention to this inner divine urge, which will provide us with intuition, with spiritual wisdom. Are you seeking to listen and hear your intuition? Do you want to experience spiritual wisdom in your life? Well, this is how you do it. You move into the seat of your soul. You go within to that place where you and God are one. This is my hope for each and every one of us, that we can experience God. Have you had an experience of God? Eckhart Tolle wrote in his most recent book, "Through the present moment, you have access to the power of life itself, that which traditionally has been called God. So as soon as you turn away from it, God ceases to be a reality in your life, and all you are left with is the mental concept of God. The mental concept of God, a belief in God, in other words, which, he says, some people believe in and others deny. Belief in God, he says, is a poor substitute for the living reality of God manifesting every moment in your life." Are you focused on the present moment so that you can experience God in the here and now? Eckhart Tolle went on and explained that if you put your hands like this, then everything from here back is the past. And we have no control to change the past. We can do nothing about that. And if we move to this hand and we go from here forward, this is all the future. And we cannot control what's going to happen in the future. So between my hands, between your hands, right here, this is the present. And this is what we have control over. How are we going to act? How are we going to respond in the present? Right here, between our hands, in the present moment, this is our power, our place of power. This is where we meet God, and this is where we have an experience of God. Not just a belief in God, but a true experience of God. When we have this knowing, and Eckhart Tolle says you go from the belief in God to a knowing, a consciousness of knowing God, that's where you have the experience of God. To do this, we must learn to silence our minds, to silence that monkey chatter that goes on all the time, our egos talking to us, questioning what we're doing, why we're making this decision. To quiet that down, to stop our internal dialogue, and to feel that love nature. That's why I like the term seat of the soul. When you sit in that place of the seat of the soul, you can settle in to feeling spirit, to feeling the love and the peace that is that all-knowing presence and power of our life. Reverend Chris Michaels, in his book, Your Soul's Assignment, talks about the soul and the purpose here of life. He says, love is the only thing that we feel compelled to communicate when we are at the end of life. We want people to know that we love them And we want to know that they loved us. Love, he says, is empowering. When we feel love, we feel empowered. It makes us feel as though we could conquer the world. Love brings us joy. When we are in love, we are happy and our hearts are full. As a nurse for so many years, I can tell you, working in ICU and also working in a hospice setting, what Chris Michaels is saying is so true. At the end of life, what really matters to people, it's not the material possessions that they have acquired. It's not their status in life. It truly is knowing that they have loved someone and that they have been loved. I have heard it over and over and over again. That's what people want others to know and to remember. I love you. And they want to hear that they were loved too. I have heard so many people say at the end of life to their families, take care of each other for you. To their children, take care of each other for me. Take care of each other for me. So that their love continues on. They want to be that example and encourage others to share that love of spirit. That love that is the nature, that divine urge within each and every one of us. When we sit in the seat of our soul, this divine essence is what meets us there. When we sit and know that we are within our soul, within our heart, we find love, we find joy, we find peace. Do you allow yourself to experience this kind of love? I'd like to share a story with you. It's about a couple who had two boys. The boys were 8 and 10 years old and what they would call excessively mischievous. The parents said in their small town, whenever anything had gone wrong, whenever there was some sort of trouble, they knew their sons had some sort of a dealing with it. Well, the mother had heard that there was a minister in town who did very good work with children. And so she talked to her husband. She said, do you think we should send our boys to talk with this minister? The dad said, well, I think we need to do something because I'm going to lose my temper very soon. So they set up an appointment for their boys to go see the minister and talk with him. The minister said, well, I have one condition. I have to see them by themselves, not together. So the first boy, the 8-year-old, was sent to see the minister. He got into the minister's office. He sat down across the desk from the minister, and the minister sat there and said, so, son, where is God? The little boy had no response. He just sat there. The minister leaned forward and said, son, where is God? Again, the little boy's eyes got a little bigger, but he had no response. He said nothing. Finally, the minister was upset that the boy wasn't responding, and he started shaking his finger and he said, where is God? The little boy at that point jumped up, bolted out of the office, ran all the way home, ran through the front door, up the steps, slammed his bedroom door, went and jumped in his closet and was hiding. His 10-year-old brother came in and said, what happened? And the little boy said, we are in big trouble. His brother said, why? He said, well, God is missing. And the minister thinks we have him. You see, God can't be hidden somewhere. God is everywhere. Now, we can choose to focus on all of the stuff going on around us in the outside world, or we can choose to sit in the seat of our soul and have an experience with God. What will you do today? This is my challenge for you this week, is to take some time to move within, to go into the seat of your soul, and to have an experience of God. Cultivate that relationship that you can feel the love, the peace, the joy that is there. The experience of God for yourself, that you can know beyond a shadow of a doubt, no matter what's going on in your life. Spirit loves you. You are love, and you can share that love with the world. Where is God? I can tell you, God is in the seat of your soul, just waiting for you to turn to it, to put your attention there. So I pray that you will be able to do that this week and have a true experience of God. Let us pray. We pause and say thank you, Spirit, for this time to be together, for this message, for this reminder that you are always ready for us to turn to you, for you are the power and presence, the very breath of us. Help us this week to take time to go into the seat of our soul, to find that place, that essence within us that's never been disturbed and that is always filled with love, filled with peace, filled with divine wisdom. Guide us, God, as we express your life, your nature, your love in this world. Help us to show the love that you are. Help us to experience your love and to share that experience with those around us. I know this is true and can happen for each and every one of us. And so I speak my word of blessing on each person. I know that you are faithful, and I know that we have the desire and the power to turn within, to go into our soul, and to have an experience of you. I release my word, knowing that it is made manifest in each and every life. And for this joy of the truth of knowing, I release my word, and together we say, and so it is. Blessings. For our offering time today, I invite you to donate online using the box at the top of the screen. You can go to our website and donate, or you can donate via Zelle, whatever serves you best. If you prefer to mail a check in, our mailing address will be shown on the screen, and that's the address for the TEC building where we have our office space and classroom. Thank you for supporting our center and for sharing your love with us as a spiritual community. And now I invite you to share in our offering affirmation as we say this together. Thank you, God, for the prosperity of my life. I give knowing your abundance is flowing to me freely. All of my needs are met, and I am grateful. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you for being with us today. And now it's time for our benediction and then our closing song. So join me in prayer. Know that as you leave from this service, you are held in the divine embrace. Spirit is your life, your breath, your joy. And I know that you go in the protection of God throughout this week. Know that you are blessed Remember that you can turn to Spirit at any time, and you will feel that love, that joy that resides deep within you. So I speak my word of blessing on each person that's been here with us. I speak my word of blessing on our community, on our state, on our country, and a word of blessing for our entire world, that the healing of spirit can be manifest in and through all that we do. Thank you, God. We seal this by saying together, and so it is. Namaste.
Like birds of a feather, I won't tell no lie. All of the people around us, they say, can they be that close? Just let me state for the record, we're giving love in a family dose. We are family. Hey, I got all my sisters with me. Just begun to get our share of this world's delight. High hopes we have for the future and our goals in sight. We know we don't get depressed. Here's what we call our golden rule: have faith in you and the things you do. You won't go wrong.